everyone, Miss G here, hoping that you're well and ready to start back up with some learning. Today we're going to talk about circles and start our exploration of circles. So things you'll need. You will need to open up your circle vocab document, and that is something you are going to fill in over the next couple of days with all of the new information that we learn. You might also want to just watch this video and think about this information. Maybe you want to take down some other notes as well, so feel free. You'll notice that all I actually have here is some scrap paper, and I'm going to use some markers, and that's really all you're going to need as well if you want to take some notes too. So we're going to get started talking about circles. Here in my paper, I've drawn two dots, right? I drew this gray dot here, and then a green dot just some distance away from it. And my question is, could I draw in other dots that are the same distance away from this gray one? So this distance here, what would happen if I drew some more dots that were the same distance away? So I made myself a little green distance marker, and I'm gonna start drawing in some more. So I'll put one over here. Okay, right now it looks like I could make a line. You know, I could put one down here. Looks like I could make a T. Keep going, I'll put one up here. Same distance away from our middle dot, this gray dot, okay? All right, I can make an X or a T. Well, what if I wanted to put one right next to that original dot? I could do that, it would be the same distance away. And then I could do one about halfway between those two, and I could just keep marking out some spots. And hopefully you're beginning to see something take shape. When we're talking geometry, that's a pretty geometry pun. But as I look around, as I keep drawing in more and more dots, the shape becomes more and more clear. So I'm gonna just keep going. Hopefully you're beginning to see the thing that I'm drawing. If I connect my dots, is a circle. So to make a circle, you need to have a dot here in the center, and you need to have a lot of other dots, an infinite amount of other dots that are the same distance away from that center dot. Any point I could draw on this circle would be the same point away, same amount of distance away as the original one was. So that's what a circle is. A circle is a collection of points. Look at all those green points that I drew. A collection of points that are the same distance from the center. In math, we use the word equidistant to mean same distance. So this is what a circle is. A collection of points all the way around that are the same distance, this green distance we used at the beginning, from the center point. This green distance is very important. We call that distance the radius. The radius is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. So it doesn't matter which point I connect to. If I connect up the center with any of the points I drew, it would be the same as this original one that I did here. I could connect it down here. It's always going to be the same length. And so I can check that with my thing I called my radius. Yeah, works out. So let's label this vocabulary in here. This point in here is our center point. Any of these three lines we call the radius. So we might label that in our circle as R. R for radius. And we say that these are equidistant. All these points are equidistant from the center, and that distance that they are is R, our radius. So we often say that the radius of a circle is what defines a circle. If I started this experiment over, there's my center point, and I shrunk the radius, I made it shorter, the circle would be smaller. It would take up less space, it would have less space going around. If I took another center point and I made it farther away, and I started, my circle might not even fit on here, finding equidistant points, you'll notice that my circle gets bigger, it takes up more space. So this thing, our radius, that distance away, is what makes our entire circle. We say it defines that circle. All right, so there's one more important measurement we're going to talk about in this video. And so for that, we're going to need a handy dandy circle. So anytime you need to make a circle, when you're home, grab a circular object and trace it on a piece of paper. And there we have a circle. This is a can to a jar. The last measurement I want to talk about is called the diameter. And we say that the diameter is a measurement across a circle. So it's a measurement of the distance across a circle. So let me draw in a diameter. That went across a circle. It went from one side to another. Well, circles don't really have sides, so it's kind of hard to draw from one side to another, but that blue one I think counts. But maybe you don't agree and you're like, no, you need to go, that's like way too short. You need to go across. Okay, I need to go across the circle. Or maybe I'm supposed to go like left to right across the circle. So if you're noticing here that going across a circle, I could draw as many lines as I want because there's no such thing as across a circle looking like this. So the diameter is not just across a circle. It is the measurement. I need to move another circle down here. Going across the circle, but we must pass through the center point. Here's my little center maker. So if I put in my center point, now any line that I draw through my circle would be the same length. So there's a line going through that center of the circle. As long as I hit this center point, these are all the same length. So I'm going to add a little bit to my definition here. My diameter is a measurement of the distance across a circle going through the center point. That's not really how you spell through. Oops. So if I draw across my circle and I hit that center point when I pass through it, I have what's called a diameter. So these blue lines and this green line are called a diameter. The cool thing about a diameter is it's actually also built up from our radius, our building block here. We said that the radius passes from the center of a circle to the edge. So this little part of a line here I'm highlighting, that's a radius. But it's the same no matter what center you, what point you go to. So if I go from the center to this point, that's also a radius. So sometimes we use this formula for diameter. Diameter is 2 times the right radius. The diameter is twice r, 2r. These are all going to be important concepts for us as we move through our unit here on circles. So take notes, watch this video again, and when you're ready, you're gonna go on to Khan Academy and look at an exercise to make sure you've got it. See you soon.